So you have a book available for sale on Amazon. Now maybe it's been a week, maybe it's been 1 month, maybe it's been 1 year, but you're wondering, has my book sold any copies? How do I find out where the book sales reports are? Have I been paid? Has Amazon tried to pay me? These are questions that make complete sense for a brand new author to be asking. Maybe you have a marketing strategy and you want to see the results that it has yielded. I mean, nothing is going to help more than seeing the accurate Excel sales reports of Amazon. So the goal of this video is going to be to walk you through what to expect, from where to start, from where to look once you're logged into the right spot, and to how to understand the reports that Amazon does give you. It doesn't give you just a single encompassing sales report, but rather several, each of them specializing in a various aspect of selling off Amazon. So let's take a look. Let's deep dive into the Amazon platform. Now, before I start, I want to point out the biggest mistake I find authors make before they get to the sales reports is where to log on. So if I click, a lot of authors accidentally go to Amazon.com to log in and find sales reporting. However, Amazon.com is where the reader will go to buy your book. If you log into Amazon.com, you are logging on as a reader and not as an author looking to find their reports. So the first thing to know is where to log on is kdp.amazon.com. Now, you might have a different flavor of that URL. Your link might look a little different depending on the exact country you are logging in from. But I know, at least for authors from South Africa and the remainder of Africa, as well as authors from the US, that Amazon, the link to use to access your reporting is kdp.amazon.com. So we are going to sign in, and I have the gracious permission of an author to use their account. And what we are seeing now is going to be a live account. So you will be seeing results in real time. You're going to be seeing sales happening from recently. And here we are, guys. We are logged into kdp.amazon.com. A couple things to notice is, firstly, we see that there's a menu strip at the top. Very important, guys. The menu strip is broken up into bookshelf, into reports, into community and marketing. Now, community and marketing, I won't lie, I don't go into those reports too often. The reports you want to focus on naturally are under reports, right over there. So that's the first step. You've logged in. Where to find them is by selecting reports. Obviously, if we scroll down before we do that, this is where your published books are listed. So any titles you have listed, whether it's 1, 5, or 10, will be found under the bookshelf section. But we're focusing today on the reports section. And here we are, guys. I could actually cut the video short right here because that's 99% of what I know you're struggling with, is how to find the reporting section, and you're here. So this section, and again, we've just logged into kdp.amazon.com. We've clicked on the reports button over here, and now we see a strip of granular reports that Amazon gives an author to better understand the performance of their books. Now, some of the reports make more sense when you have more titles. So if this is your first title, congratulations, firstly. I'm excited for you. I know how daunting it can be to get your title on Amazon. But understand that some of the reports make more sense when you have more titles published. Now, the report we land on by default is called the Sales Dashboard Report. And what you need to know is this is one of the most important reports, aside from the payments reports over here. The sales dashboard, or the default report that you land on, is one of the most useful. The question that the sales dashboard answers for an author is, have I sold any books recently? Now, recently, very importantly, is the default of 30 days. So if I don't touch it, we're looking from Jan 3rd to Feb the 2nd. 30 days, 1 month worth of sales. Often I want to update this to include the maximum, or 90 days, that's available from this report. And there we go. You get a good bird's eye view answering the question, yeah, I've sold books. I've sold, the gray options are, I think, paperbacks. The orange options are ebook versions that I've sold. And this dark, I don't know, maroon maybe color is paperback books that I've sold, but not directly on Amazon. Someone else, sort of a warehouse or middleman was able to buy paperback books through the Amazon platform, but it's not directly like a reader that would be buying the paperback from Amazon. So very important is the different colors obviously mean different things. If it's your first book, obviously you might have gone for an ebook only, which would mean you're only seeing the orange lines. If you've given the paperback files, you might be seeing sales of the paperback as well. Audiobooks, what color are audiobooks? Interesting. I don't see the audio option here. But I digress. So this is your sales dashboard. Important setting is to know the amount of days can go between 30 and 90 by default. Scrolling down, you're going to see the Kindle edition normalized pages red, and I'll discuss the KENP number a little bit later on in this video. At the bottom, really cool guys, is what you see is a breakdown of the amount of money earned from the territory where readers might have bought your book from. So if I'm a reader from the US, maybe it'll show Amazon.com. Likewise, if I'm a reader from South Africa buying your book, I piggyback off Amazon.com as well, because South Africa does not have Amazon.co.za. So I buy a book off Amazon.com, meaning sometimes Amazon.com is readers from the US, but sometimes it's also readers from countries without their own Amazon platform. Likewise, you're going to see some numbers here from Amazon.co.uk, Australia as well. And the cool thing about this is it gives you a overview of where your book might be popular. Now, if you're an author planning marketing activities, wouldn't it be cool to know that your book is popular in Australia? What that means is you can start tailoring your advice, you can start tailoring your promotion, to suit readers in territories that are showing interest in your book. So I think it's really cool to pay attention to the territories in which your book is selling well. It's not always the obvious one, let me say that. So this is your sales dashboard. Importantly, at the bottom, guys, you can generate a report. So let's say you wanted an Excel sheet because you're a numbers person and you love crunching Excel sheets together to get the exact information you need. You can click, obviously it wants to spit out the report in Microsoft Excel, just know that. It will ask you to save the report. I'm not going to worry about that for now, but just know it's an option. Now, back to the top. The second most important report is the payments report. This report answers the question of, have I been paid recently by Amazon? Now, if you're an author who's found this video, there's a good chance that you haven't been paid and you want to know why. This report is your best friend. It should show payments relating to sales you've had. It might show rejection. So I have had royalty checks that bounced. Before South Africa was allowed to enter your bank account details, and we had to do posted checks many moons ago. I found out that my royalty check bounced from this report. And likewise, if your bank details changed for some reason, Amazon would put the notification on the screen as well. So pay attention. Obviously, the report below me is showing that all the payments Amazon have attempted have been successful. You're also going to notice that partway through on the recent payments, I switched from US to ZAR, or South African Rand. And the awesome thing is that in the last month or two, Amazon opened its doors for South African authors to put their bank account details inside. And that's why you're seeing payments in ZAR and not in USD for this particular account. So again, guys, a payments report together with the sales dashboard is probably going to answer 90% of your questions. I'll skim through the other reports, but just know they're actually not as important, I think, for most authors, especially most authors with one or two books. So historical gives you feedback similar to the sales dashboard, but it stretches out the history of your Amazon account. For example, with this one, we can see that the report stretches back to 2014. So this is more than likely when this account was created. So the historical report answers the question of, have I sold any books a long time ago? And often if an author wakes up a year later and says, oh my God, I better check what's happening with sales, this is actually the report you want to come to, because obviously the other reports like the sales dashboard won't cover that far back. Likewise, the graph is broken up into different colors. Where you're seeing a big blue spike here is where we've run free promotions on books. So a free promotion is where an author who's opted into KDP Select can, for up to 5 consecutive days, make their book freely available for readers to download. Obviously, you're sacrificing the money that you might have earned. But what the author doing the promotion hopes is that the exposure is more important and that you get from a large amount of downloads, a large amount of exposure. Again, we're seeing this strange KENP number, which I'll go into. And again, the historical report breaks down the royalties earned into the different territories as well. And likewise, the sales dashboard, you can also generate an Excel report for those of you who like numbers. The month to date, again, it's a little bit more useful when you are selling more than one book. But essentially, this will easily break down the different titles you have. You can select maybe only books I've sold in .co.uk, certain Amazon territories. You can say this month or the previous month, and you can change from different book formats. Obviously, guys, an author selling an ebook on Amazon is a start, but they actually do make it a possibility to sell a few different kinds of formats. You don't just have to sell an ebook. You can sell a paperback book. And guys, a paperback book, it doesn't mean that you are shipping quantities of stock to Amazon to sell out and then ship them more stock. It's a print-on-demand model, meaning you give them the files and they make your book available, whether it's one copy being ordered or 10. And they will print and they will ship, and you, my dear author, never have to worry about shipping more stock to Amazon. So as you can see, it's a pretty cool method of printing. Again, payments is one of the most important. Pre-order. So guys, it is possible to allow readers to pre-order your book on Amazon. Now, there are a couple caveats. So for example, it's only ebooks, not a paperback version. The price of the book cannot change. You can't start the pre-order in a certain price and change it halfway through. Amazon also says, listen, if you set a pre-order date that you miss, you will be penalized or blacklisted from running a pre-order for the next, I think, 12 months, the last time I checked. So yes, pre-ordering is an option. It's quite cool for those authors who have a proven following and who want to get people excited ahead of the time. Because what a pre-order allows you to do as an author is to, as the book releases, get a spike in sales. So instead of selling the usual couple books here, couple books there, by collecting pre-orders, the day your ebook goes live, your sales spike, and Amazon rewards that sales spike with a very high rank. So it helps an author to appear viral in a sense on Amazon, because you have a spike of sales on the release date, and Amazon obviously rewards you with a better sales rank, meaning that you appear in better best-selling lists on Amazon, for example. Promotions. If you run a free or a discounted promotion, Amazon will put the results here. As you can see, back in 2014 and 15, this author ran promotions for free and discounted options on their books. Now, for an author to run a free or a discounted promotion, number one, you have to be opted into KDP Select. So if you are not opted into KDP Select or digital exclusivity, you will not have the option of a free or discounted promo. Number two is it's not permanent. When you give Amazon exclusivity for the ebook version, it's for a 90-day or 3-month cycle. So it's not permanent. You can opt in and then opt out, which a lot of authors choose to do, but it does give you a little bit of extra reach within the Amazon ecosystem. You can earn better royalties in some territories. And also, again, it gives you these free marketing tools like the discounted promotions where your book can be 50% off for a few days, or it can be discounted fully. So a free book, again, up to 5 consecutive days. And after that 90-day cycle, it just refreshes and you get your 5 days back. Prime month royalties, I'm not going to worry about. I think it's self-explanatory. Ad campaigns. It's possible to swipe your credit card with Amazon and actually pay them to feature your book more inside the Amazon ecosystem. So Amazon has a lot of space available on the website. And what you're going to notice is some of the spots on the website say sponsored. And so an author who doesn't mind spending a bit of money on a credit card can, a minimum maybe of $100 per campaign, actually pay Amazon to feature their book in extra locations. And there's a couple ways to target. You can target by a keyword or potentially by a shelf, a category. So readers browsing a certain shelf will be exposed to ads featuring your book. And it's one of the cheapest and easiest ways for an author to dip their toes in the marketing effort. So guys, I think we've covered most of them. Again, to access the sales reports, first you log into kdp.amazon.com. The next thing is you select the reports option here at the top. Once you're in the reporting section, from left to right, there's some really cool reporting options, the most useful being sales dashboard or payments. But again, the more books you have, the more useful the other reports become. Just know that you can generate Excel reports if you want to share with someone and not view directly on the screen. Maybe that's not useful for some reason. And that's essentially what I wanted to show you. I hope it helped you. Now, I promised you I'd give you information on what the KENP thing was. When you opt your book into, I think where we see KENP, there we go. Where you opt your book into digital exclusivity or KDP Select, Amazon automatically enrolls your book in a program called KU or Kindle Unlimited. And think of it as a Netflix for ebooks, where a reader can pay Amazon, I forget the amount, but maybe around $9.99, and that's per month, I would guess. And they're allowed access to as many ebooks as they can, consume per month for that amount. Now, if you enroll in KDP Select, your book is automatically opted into Kindle Unlimited. And so that's why I get an author often scared that my book's available for free. It shows 0.00. Why is it being sold for free? No, your book isn't necessarily being sold or given away free of charge. But for readers who pay Amazon separately for their KU subscription, they can lend it free of charge. You are still paid, so don't worry. It's not like you are giving freebies to everyone. What it means is instead of being reimbursed for a complete sale, where I am opted into Kindle Unlimited and I lend your book and I start reading, you, the author, are reimbursed by pages read. So you get money back, but it's not a complete sale. So if you're selling your book at $9.99 and you're getting a 70% royalty of $7, if someone in the KU program reads into your book, you get reimbursed by pages read by Amazon, not the complete sale of $7, whatever the case might be. Now, the reason they call it KENP is because every book size is different, right? Your page might be big, you might have more words, you might have pictures. And Amazon has a formula or algorithm to determine what the average page length is going to be. And each month, they make a big pot of money available that's then divvied up amongst all the authors opted into the program. And that's where the KENP number comes from. Essentially, it's Amazon doing the math and saying, this many authors, this many books, this many readers equals this amount of money per page. Your reader read half your book, 50%. You get that amount of income given to you. So yes, it means if the reader doesn't finish your book, you're not going to earn a full amount. The good news is that despite when the reader comes back, if it takes them 6 months to finish your book, you'll still be reimbursed, even if your book comes out of the Kindle Unlimited program before then. So you still earn money, do not worry. It's just that they pay you differently. Instead of the typical 35% or 70% royalty option, you get reimbursed by the pages read. A couple other points. Sorry guys, I'm going to look down. I hate this, but often an author who gets their book published says, hold on. I know I've sold books and I'm not getting paid. There's a problem here. Now, for those authors who know they sold, and maybe you verified from the sales graph and your Excel reports, the first issue that normally gets in the way is, do you have a bank account loaded with Amazon? Have you loaded your banking details? A lot of authors, especially from third world countries like South Africa, leave the default option of post a check there. And what that means is Amazon doesn't pay you quickly, should I say. What they do, if your payment option is left as post a check, is they wait for you to get $100 before they try post it to you. So one of the biggest problems I see when an author has sold, and they've confirmed they've sold through the reporting, but they haven't got paid, is that have you loaded valid account details? The other part of the equation is Amazon takes a little bit of time to come back to you. So they say 30 to 60 days after the month in which you've sold the book. So selling today does not mean you get paid tomorrow, and that's huge. It means up to 60 days after the month in which you sold the book, only then does Amazon actually tackle the payments. I can show you that in action by going to the payments report and look at the most recent payments we're getting now at the end of Jan. End of Jan payments are actually from the sales period of November 2021. So that's proof. That's proof that that 60-day cycle is what it is. So guys, often it just means you have to be a little patient. As much as that sucks, it happens a lot. The other thing which I've noticed affects payments is a valid tax interview. So when you first create your Amazon account, Amazon says, tell us who you are financially, what country you're from, your address, your income tax number, and that interview has to be renewed. I think it's 1 year. Every 1 year you have to renew the tax interview. If you leave it too long and it lapses and Amazon doesn't get a new version from you, I've seen Amazon withhold royalties up until it does, and then it just releases everything again after that. So just double check if you aren't getting paid and you've confirmed sales that your tax interview has been submitted. They make it pretty visible, to be honest. So if you haven't submitted a valid one, they tend to put big alert boxes on the bookshelf screen up at the top of this, the screen. You don't see it here because it is it's been completed successfully. But yeah, if there is a problem with the tax interview, Amazon typically puts a nice big alert option across your screen. So I've explained the KENP option for those authors who are opted into KDP Select. So one of the last things I want to touch on is what a lot of you might be feeling. So you wanted to know where the money was. Have I been paid? Have I sold? And you've gone to your reporting, and I know what you might be seeing. And what you might be seeing is nothing. Quiet. Empty graph. No sales. And I understand how disheartening that can be. I know how much effort you poured into your book, and I know how much it hurts to see that books haven't been sold. This is a process that's an ongoing one. Amazon doesn't perform magic. Amazon is a very big bookstore, but it hasn't changed how books are sold. People still prefer word of mouth referrals, and marketing for a self-published author is essential. A lot of authors who write are scared of marketing. And so I understand how you feel, and I understand how crazy it feels to have put so much work into the publishing of, to only see little to no results on the other side. Keep your chin up. Self-publishing is not always easy. The marketing thing I know can be scary. My best advice is experiment as much as you humanly can with the marketing of your book. Don't think of it as trying one thing. Try many things to see what sticks. Be careful and do your homework. There are a lot of scammers out there when it comes to marketing, but there are a lot of good people as well. The best thing you can do to protect yourself is don't give someone a blank check. No one will make you famous for a big wad of cash. Essentially, you want to ask a marketing person a specific question, a specific task. You want someone to polish your website. You want someone to perfect your call to action. You want someone to help run a promotion. You want someone to get you on radio. You don't want a jack of all trades. A lot of the time, it's going to end up being a funnel that you pour your money into. So be careful, do your homework. But I understand, and I hope you do as well, that self-publishing is a long-term thing. And success of your first book is something that very, very rarely happens. It's the determined authors that always do the best from what I've seen. Now, for those of you who have questions I can't answer, so for example, my account details are valid, but Amazon's not paying, or I've had sales and maybe Amazon has exceeded the 60-day window to pay you. Often you want to get directly in touch with Amazon support. Now, a warning, guys, they are notoriously bad when it comes to feedback. They do get back to you quick enough, but typically it's outsourced support departments in who knows which country, and their English is bad and they aren't helpful and they're reading from a textbook. So often I will resubmit the same query a few times just to get someone smart on the other side to give me the help that I need. The way to access the help is actually here. Once you're logged on to kdp.amazon.com, scroll right to the bottom. I hope you're seeing my screen. Scroll right to the bottom. And do you see the Contact Us button here? So there's a nice Contact Us button. And for some reason, it's not visible easily on other places. So I don't see it at the top, but I see it here at the bottom. I'm going to click on Contact Us. And do you notice that it pops up a separate How Can We Help page where you could say something like payments. I'm missing payments. And what Amazon does is they give you the option of phoning, live chat, or sending an email. And obviously, when we can send an email, and they pre-populate the communication for you to prompt you for the bits and pieces they need. So to contact Amazon support, that's the easiest way. Again, you scroll to the bottom of the screen, you select contact us, and then you can drill down on the left-hand side what your precise problem might be. This was a cool article for me to write. It was a very fun video for me to record. There's been some crazy noise in the background. I'm hoping you guys don't hear too much of, but I really hope it helps. My name is Dave. This is what I do for a living, helping authors just like you. Anything I've missed, let me know. I will try to do it better the next time. But otherwise, work hard. Keep writing, and I hope that I can create something for you very soon again.